She's finally here. Been waiting for the Shelix head for about 6 months. Almost lost hope on it, and the other day I came home from work and it was right there waiting. I was like, oh, what is that? My Shelix head for the Powermatic 15 planer. So today's video is gonna be all about putting this Shelix head inside this Powermatic planer. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Let's get to work. Okay, I'm gonna start by removing this thumb screws over here, or nuts, or whatever we wanna call them, and then I remove the belt guard, and then remove this. This is a 12 mil, by the way, screw right here. Get this pulley out of here, and then remove the belts. To keep this pulley from spinning while you're trying to loosen it, I'm going to insert this piece of wood under the cutting head, and then lower the cutting head on it. Okay, with the head blocked, now I can probably remove this. There you go. Very easy. Okay. Now I'm probably going to loosen up the head again to remove these belts. So I'm going to remove the belts first. There you go. Now pull this pulley out. Beautiful. Next I'm going to remove the screws holding this cover up here. There is also some, I think these are 8 mils from the look of it. And I have to remove these 8 millimeters too before I can pull this cover out. Okay, so next I drop this bed down so I can access this screws right here holding this dust shroud on each side of the gearbox. By the way, these are 10 mils. Next I'm going to remove the 17 mil nut holding the handle in place. Okay. The screw holding the cover for the feed rollers, it's a 6 mil Allen. So that's going to come out next. From the looks of it, I gotta pull this tensioner spring out first. There you go. And this way now I can pull this 10 mils out and remove these gears that feed the rollers. Let's get these out. Okay, so let's just remove the ones that we can remove for now. This one came loose too. Okay. Okay. There you go. The screws on top here, they're also 6 mil Allen. put this handle back temporarily to lift this bed up, and I'm gonna put a piece of lumber under this head, so when it comes out it's not gonna drop onto the bed of the planer. It's gonna rest on that piece of wood. So let's see, I'll lift this up. Let's get it close to the head over there. Okay, so once I got that piece right under the head there, I'm gonna remove this other 2 screws from here, and this way the head, as you can see, it moves. It dropped on that piece of wood. Okay, it looks like the bearing is out. I didn't remove the cutters out of the head, so I just put some gloves on to pull this thing out. So I got the head here on my table saw, and now I'm gonna remove this oil plug right here and drain the gearbox. The oil plug is a 14 mil. So let's see if we can get it out. Put the oil plug back, so I'm not gonna make a mess while I take this. How many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this will be 5 mil Allens that holds the cover of the gearbox in place. So I was able to pull this cover out, but it looks like, I don't know if you can see, let me show you. This big gear in here is going behind the other gear, so I'm gonna have to pound this out of here with the bearing or without the bearing in order to fully pull this cover out. And there you go. Next I'm going to be removing this 5 mil Allen holding this gear onto the cutter head. She's free. The OD of the shoulder here that seals on the whale seal, it's slightly larger on the older heads versus the newer models. So I'm gonna check that now and see what's going on. I'm gonna zero my calipers. So we have 27, 17, 18. Now let me go check on the new head, see how much is over there. Let's see. This is the new head over here. And we have, there you go, 26. So it's a mil smaller. So I'm gonna have to get a different oil seal here before I can continue. I'm gonna pop the seal out. There you go, came out fairly easy. So it's a 28 ID 40 OD 8 mil thickness. Apparently the 2006 newer models Powermatic, they reduced the OD of the shaft right here from 27.17 to 26.20 or 17 mils. So it's 1 millimeter smaller in diameter. So I called Powermatic for this new seal, and I got nobody to talk to. I waited in line for about an hour, nothing happened. Then I called Byrd Manufacturing. They said, yeah, we got the seal, we can send it out to you. But I said, okay, I need it fast. Can I get it from somewhere here local? Can you give me some dimensions? The guy's like, oh, we don't have any dimensions on the seal. I was like, Jesus Christ. So I just said, you know what? The old one was a 2840 8 mils. The newer shaft is a mil smaller, so a 2748 mil should work. So then I went and I googled this size seal, and I came up with this. Actually a Honda seal. It's made for some Accords and Preludes and something like that, but it's a 2748. And I just called my local Honda dealership, and I went and picked me up a seal. So this is the seal, 2748. It's made in Japan, which is nice. And it was about $15. So there you go. Now I can put this planer back together. Now I'm gonna double check how this thing fits over here. Just about perfect. It's not tight, but I can tell that it seals on the shaft. It's pretty much actually the same fitting as the old seal was sealing on the other cutter head. Start by putting this seal back here into the gear case. I'm gonna use this plywood to kind of keep it flat. See if we can hammer it inside there. There she goes. I noticed that the other one was sticking out about a mil, so I guess this is it. This is how much is gonna go in. Next step is to pull this bearing off this old head right here. And I guess you can pull it out by beating the crap out of it. Maybe hang it somewhere where you have some, like 2 pieces of wood supporting it, and then you just can beat on the shaft to get it out. But I didn't want to do that and damage the bearing, so I went to my local auto parts store and rented one of these bearing pullers. Okay, got this all set up. You can also use a gear puller. They didn't have one when I went to rent this one, so I just got what they had. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, let's give this a go. I'm gonna hold it with my glove right here. Oh yeah, it's already coming out. Whoa, whoa, that was fast. Bearing is out, so this is a 6205 NSE, just in case you want to order another one. I checked the bearing, doesn't have any plate. The planer has barely any hours on it, so we're gonna reuse this bearing. Now I'm gonna get rid of this old head from here, and I'm gonna wrap the new one with some cardboard so I won't cut myself in those sharp cutters. I got this bearing onto the new head. It slides pretty easy all the way here, and now I'm gonna look for something kind of like a short section of pipe to slide over the shaft here and hit this inner race of the bearing until I set it all the way in. Found this copper coupling that fits over here, and it hits right on that inner race. almost in. Just a couple more taps. That is it. It is fully seated. Nice. Okay, the way I decided to do this, I used some plied spacers on the gearbox here because there is some gear sticking out. So this way the box rests on this plywoods, and then I'm gonna tap the head in. It already went in about halfway. Just needs a couple taps to go all the way. Let's see. The head is almost all the way through there. There's probably about, let's see, what, an eighth of an inch left. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this back in there into the head shaft, and I'll use the screw that holds this in place to pull that rest of the head into the bearing. Oh, that's it. The screw pulled the shaft right through. I put back the gear I took out earlier, tap it in. This is the handle that moves it. So now I'm gonna put back the cover of the gearbox. Let's see how this is gonna go back together here. Let's loop this up a little bit so everything will slide easy into place. Okay. Okay, looks like I gotta go up a little bit. I'm gonna put this 4 screws holding the gearbox to the planer back. Head is spinning nice and freely, very smooth. I'm gonna have to double check all these inserts, make sure they are tight before I turn on the machine. The fill screw is located right about here. I'm gonna pull this out. I realized I should have filled this when it was out. It was easier access to it, but it's still doable. 80-90 oil, that's what the manual calls for. So I'm gonna just squeeze this gear oil bottle in there. I'm just gonna squeeze the oil in, nothing fancy. So I fill it until it's running out through this top hole here, and now I'm just going to plug it back. One note worth mentioning is that the 2 screws that hold the feed rollers in place are shorter than these other 3 that hold the gears in place, so don't mix them up. Let's put this handle back. Got all the 3 belts installed. I'm gonna put the bell cover back, then I gotta put the dust covers back, tighten all these inserts. The whole thing is put back together. Let's turn it on and see how it sounds. Yep. Runs pretty smooth, no weird sounds, and it's definitely a lot quieter than before. I'm gonna run the machine with a piece of walnut. Let's see how it does. Finish is pretty perfect. I do have a little bit of snipe in the beginning and the end of the board. I'm going to see what I can do to adjust that. By reducing the pressure on the infeed and outfeed rollers, I was able to get the board so you won't have almost any snipe. I'm pretty happy with the results right now. Well, there you have it, guys. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you did, consider subscribing, smash the like button. And if you have any questions or comments, post them in the comment section below. Until next time, thank you for watching and stay busy in the shop.